Oh, so there you go, right out crew. Let's have a quick look at this. So what we're going to cover is a couple of skills that are going to lead us towards creating our HTML game. Now, we're going to start off with a pretty boring game, but it's more about the skills than the game at the moment, but we will certainly work towards developing a better game in the process. So what you can see here in front of me is not HTML code at all, but it is a website. It has nothing to do with the coding we're looking at here. So one of the very first things you should be thinking about is a street map or a mapping um, format for your program. You need to know where our first page is, where it leads to, what other pages come off that. So it's a really good, Bubble.us is a good little program. Often I would probably put it down as, let's say, index.html, just to remind me. That's a standard name that you give to most starting pages on the internet. Because we're not putting our website on the internet, it's just in a folder. You can call it whatever you like, questions.html or whatever else. What I like about this is that you can, and in fact you don't need the HTML part because all of our pages will have HTML on there. Let's just leave it as index. So what I try to do and suggest to do is use this to map out where you're going with your pages, and that way you can create, and you'll see in a moment why it's important, but you can create the blank pages that you're going to fill in based on these names. So if I've got index, so atom or element, correct atom, incorrect element, that might be one. And then I can have another one coming off there. So just wanted to show you that quickly and you'll understand where I'm going to go from that. So I'm going to be creating with you in this little section here just the first two pages, the index page and the atom or element. Alright, so we'll have a look at that and hopefully you'll understand why this now matches in with the this program, why that's important. Rightio, so I've opened up Komodo Edit. Now after this week we'll start looking at another really powerful program called Dreamweaver. Now you guys should have access to that through the Adobe Suite that we've provided to you. But we're going to continue on with Komodo because this is all still about the coding, what's going on underneath or behind the program or the pages that we're creating. So it's still the basic elements. But before I even do this, what I'm going to do is shrink down my Komodo, and I want you to create a new folder. Okay, so here's a folder, and I'm going to call it, let's call it the game folder. Okay, now everything has to go in that folder, alright? And I've got a couple of pictures that I'm going to put over here in that folder and just put away my favorites. Okay, so let's in this folder see if I've still got them. No, I don't. I've got these pictures that I've collected from another website. There you go, you can see that. So I've collected these three pictures. I'll talk about what they are and why they're relevant. Okay, so I have a picture of an atom. Okay, now these are PNGs, so I've done my research and I've made sure that there are no backgrounds on these, so that makes it easy. I don't have to worry about what the colour of my backgrounds are, they'll fit in beautifully. If I was choosing a yellow background and I had a white background on my image, it would sort of be this big white square, and that might suit your purpose. For me, I don't want that. I've got another picture with chemicals, and this little one .ico. It's actually really tiny. ICO stands for icon, and it's going to be my home button. We'll talk more about that as well. But you can see here for the moment it's they're all in my game folder. I'm going to create two new pages now, my index and my atom or element page. Okay, so let's shrink that down. Let's bring up Modo Edit again. Okay, so I'm going to create a new file from a template, and I'm going to create an HTML page, and it's going to be my index page. Alright, there you go. I'm going to say it's got to go in a local area. Let's go to my desktop, in my game folder, select that folder, open. It says, do you want to add the .html? I'm very lazy and I like it to remind me, so yes I do. There we go. Alright, so what is the name? Now the name of the page up here in the head section. Now I'm not going to worry about styling in this little tutorial. What I am going to worry about is making sure that we've got a name that comes up in our web browser. So this is going to be called my science quiz game. You might be getting an idea of what we're planning on doing here. Okay, in here I'm going to put a H1 heading, and you can tell me that a H1 heading is a big heading that is going to tell us it is questions. Alright. Alright, and I'm getting used to typing this in code. Coding sometimes very quickly uses these headings. Once again, when we look at Dreamweaver, it's a very powerful program because it often is a bit like a word processor. Will let you change that, but you need to be able to know what coding is going on in the back when those changes are being made. Alright, I'm going to put another image in here. IMG. So that's an image tag, and this reminds me I'm on the right track. Alright, and if I hit a space, I'm going to one of the ones that's not here, and I can use this little drag bar and drag it down. Okay, but I know the one I'm looking for starts with an S. Okay, it's not style. Let's see if I can start it. There you go, source, SRC. Where's my image located? Okay, and it's going to be located in the folder that I'm saving this file in. So I'm just going to call this my atom.png, and if you're not sure of the name, go and find the picture. Okay, and then I can close that off, and I'm done. And I can tell that the formatting is correct because you can see the different colouring here. The equal sign's blue, the SRC is slightly different shade to the IMG, the brackets are different, and all that sort of thing. So I know that that is correct. Let's save that. Alright, and then preview it. And you can see here, now I've got my code the other way around here. I think I can change that one. Let's have a look. Anyhow, that's for the moment. You can see here, questions, and there's my link here. Okay. Remember, we could use some inline styling down here to change the size of that, but that's pretty basic stuff, and I didn't need to use any other programming except for my editing ability. Now, what I want to do is I want to be able to click on this atom picture to go to an atom question about atoms. Okay, so I want to go from that. So yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to close this down. I've done everything I need to do here because I want to link this picture, but I don't have anything to link it to. So this is where I'm going to create a new, a new file from a template. It's going to be HTML, and if you remember correctly from my layout of my bubbles items, I had a page called atom or element. Okay, now I could type that. It doesn't matter how long my name is. So let's go atom. I'm going to use underscore or underscore element. Okay, now the big thing with HTML pages is it is case sensitive. So if I've got a capital A here, I must have a capital A in my link down here. Okay, so make sure you've got that. I like to put the spaces in here because that's a character. Otherwise, and you'll see it sometimes on websites that have really long string names, it'll put a percentage sign 20 in there. Now don't worry if you don't have to remember that, but if you see some funny looking codes with percentage signs and numbers, it's often because someone's put a space, just to hit the space bar and put it in there. So I put an underscore in, keep my names of my files neat and tidy. Here we go. So I'm going to go open, yes, and here it is. Alright, so there you go. I now have that. I'm going to save it. Actually, I've already saved it. I don't need to do anything else for the moment. Alright, so, but you'll notice the Komodo edit lets me look back and forth between the two programs. But now that I know that I've got that program, okay, I can now link this one to that. So, and if you remember, we can put our href, okay. Oh, I've created an error there. Alright, hang on a second, guys. Alright, I'm not sure if you guys remember, I was having a bit of a brain malfunction. What has to happen before the href? And this is all available on the W3 Skills. You have to put your anchor tag in there. Okay, there's my anchor. Alright, now I'm in the mode to put href. I'm looking at that thinking, what am I not doing right? That's when, if I've forgotten the coding, I can put this in there. So href, okay, equals, alright, So now I'm putting in here, just like I did with an image down the bottom here, now I'm putting in a link to the name of the page. And you can see up here, I can remember it's right here in front of me, which is lovely. So I've got atom underscore or underscore element ent dot html. You need to put the whole code name in there. Right, hit that, add the end tag to that. You don't have to have the space, but it's nice. I'm wrapping this image with this link. Okay, so now I come down the bottom where I've got an anchor tag. This anchor tag has a command in it. Okay, and that's what we're talking about there. If I hit that and the backspace, it'll automatically finish that off for me. Now let's save that. Okay, and have a look. All of a sudden now I've got an active hyperlink up here. If you have a look where my mouse is pointing, as I click on that, it will take me to the Atom or Element page. And I haven't got anything on that to show you. So let's put something on that to show you. Let's call it Atom or Element. And I'm going to actually, this name here, questions. Alright. Okay, and just down here under the head, let's into the body, let's put a H1 tag, and let's say questions about atoms. Okay, so I've added the end of that H1 tag there. That'll just give me a heading. Okay, let's save it and preview that. So questions about atoms. Now I know that that page is working. Let's go back to this page here and let's preview it again. Okay. I'm on the right page, I hope. Let's have a look, Mr. Ackworth. Let's try it again. Let's refresh it. Oop, there you go, refresh button. Why am I not looking at the right page? Oh, I'm on the wrong page. Let's close these down. Let's just double check. Preview. There you go. And I had this problem the other day, so Komodo does still have a few bugs. But let's have a look here. So you'll see it's opened it up in my main browser, and that's not a problem. But let's have a look. Have a look down the bottom here. You can see it's telling me where all my bits and pieces are located. So if I now click on that, questions about atoms. Okay. So what's the one thing that would be really handy here? That would be a home button to go back to where I want it, back to the main page. I can use the back arrow, but I don't want to do that, and especially when I've got lots and lots of pages, I don't want to do that. So let's have a quick look at the code we can put in to do that. It's just another href element. So what I'm going to do right above my questions label here is I'm going to put in an anchor tag. Alright, and I'm going to put in a href. Alright, ref. If I hit enter, it's easier. And I'm going to put in a location that's going to be my home home location. Now, if you're not sure about this, if you're not sure what to do, remember we can, I'll show you how to do this, remember again, code, I'm going to comment this area in here. Okay, and I'm going to go in between this home command. Alright, that's going to remind me that's what this next part is. Alright, so my home page is called index.html, so I'm going to put index.html. That's the page I'm currently on. It doesn't matter. Okay, that's where I want to go. Whoop, close those inverted commas, Mr. Ackworth. The color coding is a really good cue to show you how to get home. Now, I don't want just a link there. I want it associated with another image. So I'm going to put an image file in here. Alright, so let's go image. Alright, so I'm going to add the image, and if you remember correctly, I had a home icon. Let's see if I can bring that one back up for you and show you very quickly. So I've got this file name here. It's in our folder. I'm going to click and copy the whole file name, get rid of that again. And my image source. Alright, if you're not sure about the code, have a look at the previous code, it'll remind you. Alright, S. IMG SRC. I'm not sure why that's not auto-completing, but hey, we're great at this. Yeah, equals. Alright. Put in my home.icon. Alright, and close that off. Now remember, this is just a picture with an index or a link to it. And I'm going to come down here, and of course I have to close the anchor tag off for that one. So that's a link wrapped around the picture of the home icon, and then it's got so that'll be above my question heading or questions heading, and then I've got an atom or element heading. Alright, I'm going to save that, and we'll have a bit of a preview. Now you can see my little home button up here. Okay, alright, home, question, whatever else. So that's fine, but if I click on it, it's just taking me back to the same page. So what I'm going to do now, though, because I love to be lazy, I'm going to copy all of this. I'm using you can either right click and choose copy, or I use the shortcut which is Control plus C. If you're on a Mac, it's Command plus C. Well, let's just use that for the moment. Come over to my atom or element page and do the same thing here. Ahead of my heading, paste that in and save it. Now when I come back to my page here and I refresh it, if I click on my atoms page, you can see here there's my little home button, and when I click on that home button, it takes me back to my atoms page. So it's a link going back and forth. Okay, so that home button will always go back to the index page. So that little bit of code there, okay, it's the reason I'm keeping it separate. This one down here is my starting page, and I might have several questions going to different pages and have that heading back there. Now what would be really handy from my atoms question page, let's click on that one and show us there, would be to have a question, and with your 2 answers or 3 answers, and each answer, if you clicked on it, would take you to a page saying you were right or wrong, and then you'd have the home button here. Okay, and that's your job today that I want you to work on, is creating a series of pages that you can produce a bit of a quiz game. So it'll look something like this, where you click on your first question, it takes you to here, correct answer, boom, and then you go back to home and you come back to here. Okay, go back to here, incorrect question, oh dear, and then go back to here. Okay, so we're going to look at doing that. Now you might have, after you've got the incorrect question, you might come back to this page here, in which case your home button on this page is going to reference this one here, but we'll talk more about that later. There's a few things there to get your head round, okay, and I wanted to record this so that you've got something to come back to and have a look at. Alright, I'll see you in class.